and good afternoon, and welcome to season 5, episode 25 of the Leaders Only Digital Show and Podcast. I'm Samaj,
And I'm Kendall. Yo, yo.
and we're brought to you by What a Change Mentoring and Tone Drone TV. Please invite your friends to check out the Leaders Only Show, have a watch party, subscribe to our channel, share it, like it, hit the bell, and comment below. And if you're watching after the live stream, we ask that you put a hashtag replay in the comments just to let us know that you were here to support.
Yes, sir. How you feeling, bro?
All is well, man. It's been a good week. Looking forward to getting things started next week, man. Waiting for this weather to finally warm up for good. How about yourself?
Well, we had a day today in that rain, man, trying to work, but I'm blessed to be here. Got it done. Now I'm ready. Feeling.
Yes, indeed. Let's get into it, man. We got quite a few stories. Let's breeze right through these. Some serious topics today. Want to kick the first story off?
All right. So we got Mary, Mary, Illinois special ed teacher accused of raping student 15. Christina Formella, 30, a special ed teacher at Downers Grove South High School, has been detained over allegations that she molested a 15-year-old student she tutored and coached in soccer 2 years earlier. The two allegedly exchanged texts professing love for one another and talking explicit about sex they had in a campus classroom. Their texts were discovered days before her arrest as the boy's mother was setting up a new phone for him, prompting him to confess the alleged relationship that he says he ended and report to the police. Starts, bro. What you think about that?
Uh, I mean,
Same
first and
old.
foremost. Yeah, first and foremost, I think, as I always say, those mental health evaluations should be administered, before, just having a degree and meeting the qualifications for the job. That should be placed in there. I mean, you never can know when there's just going to be an affair happening. This is something that's been happening forever. Probably won't ever just stop. But when things like this happen, I mean, you just wonder where the teacher's mind is. Not even in a predatorial sense, first and foremost, just you know the rules. Like you sign these contracts, you want that job. You want to be in that career choice, which means you're going to always be around young men and young women. So there's a trust there for you to be in there. So why pick the profession if they can't trust you to adhere to the rules first and foremost, being one of the biggest rules, not having sex and having an outside relationship with the child without the provision and the agree consent from the parents. That's all in itself. But then secondly, I would wonder, did this happen to her? You know what I mean? Also, what does her life look like outside of work?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just get older by age, but they don't get older by mentality, or don't mature mentally when they don't heal. You know what I mean? If she never healed from whatever might have happened to her or from whatever she stopped learning, or like I always tell you, the emotional intelligence. Um, it has to be higher than what we're displaying. So something like that, and all that is cracked out to be. I pray one that she gets, her sentencing. She go through her sentencing, but I pray that she gets some mental help because even just being on a sex offender list, I mean, that just outcasts you from the world. But that doesn't change your mentality unless you're going to change your mentality and get some help for it.
Right, right. Totally agree. I couldn't disagree. You totally right. I totally agree with you. I just tired of hearing the same old stories. It's not. It's been happening since we was in school, so I know it's been happening for a long time. And like you always say, bro, like I feel like evaluation need to be done, especially in that. That's supposed to be a safe haven for kids. I mean, to a certain extent. You're gonna always
Mhm.
have the little bullying. You're gonna always have the fights or kids acting out of the unordinary. But at the same time, that's supposed to be a place where your parents feel that they can leave their kids and not have that type of issue going on. So I don't agree with it. I hope she get the help that she need. I hope the young man, he also sees the right and wrong in this too. And he get the help that he need too, man. And also the parents, because the parents probably suffering too. So
Yeah.
that's where I leave it.
Yeah, I also agree to parents, you gotta check you gotta check them phones, you know what I mean? And even before checking them phones, you gotta tackle on all topics. One, the ones that just come off a hand right at the bat, but now, as we present this story and as this story, grows legs or other stories in the same capacity, you need to talk to your children about this stuff. Like, yo, you know what I mean? It may look good at the time. You may think you cool, but if you're not willing for consequences, don't do it. Because just like you said, they both were texting each other. He probably thought it was cool. He probably didn't want it to end. His mother stepped in. So there it goes again. Now he probably feels a certain type of way with his parents, but then stuff like that happens to where then you don't want the teacher to get in trouble, but then when your parents find out, you go on the side with your parents. So you don't know if that has happened already, but a lot of times that stuff happens. Like, yo, you got to be quiet because now you're a minor, but you got to let that child speak too, because I know that the charges may be, severe and stuff, but it could also, help in a sense because they don't feel that way. Also, it make you think about in the times when people used to get married at those ages. I just think it's just disgusting, just in the aspects of you don't have no self-respect, no self-control, for how you eat. You know what I'm saying? It's already hard enough out here. You got people, teaching, working at Macy's afterwards, working at Harris Teeter afterwards, Uber, dashing, you know what I mean? And like, yo, you willing to go through school, get out of school, and end your career over something that's just so of flesh. You know what I mean? You can't control your hormones. That's sad. So wishing help to all of them, and then the child. I just wish I pray that in the future, they just get a little bit more. I would say. Confidence in themselves, so they're just not being taken advantage of, you know what I mean? So then
Right.
they could be of age and they can give their consent in that way. And again, it won't just be flesh. You could actually be on that same level mentally.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, man. So moving forward, unless you got anything else to say about that story.
Nah, we could end it there, man. That's enough said.
All right, so we're staying in the classroom, man, staying in these schools, man. So Indiana teacher forced minors to have group sex wearing screen masks. 31-year-old married teacher Brittany Fortenberry, a former math teacher at two Morgan County schools in Indiana, is now facing multiple charges of raping and sexually assaulting at least 10 minors. She is accused of sexually abusing minor boys, allegedly forced young victims, some as young as 13, to wear horror movie style masks while subjecting them to group sex. Court documents have revealed. Let's watch this video and we'll come right back with our thoughts.
Of new charges are filed against a former Morgan County teacher. This is just south of Indianapolis. Brittany Fortenberry is accused of sexually abusing multiple boys, some as young as 13. Court paperwork states Fortenberry gave teens drugs and that had group sex with them. In one incident, a victim said Fortenberry allegedly spent $600 for various purchases and that had sex with the students while making them wear the mask from the movie Scream. Fortenberry allegedly told the teens she would kill herself if they reported anything.
31-year-old Brittany Fortenberry has been held here at the Morgan County Jail since her arrest last month on charges of sexual misconduct with a minor. Since then, 5 new victims have come forward with additional allegations.
Prosecutors have asked to file up to 24 additional criminal charges against her, including 10 counts of child molesting, sexual misconduct with a minor, and 13 other charges for disseminating material harmful to minors and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Court documents say all of the teens reported Fortenberry would send them nude and explicit photos and videos on Snapchat and force them to have group sex at her Martinsville home. A child victim advocate says it's important for parents to feel comfortable having difficult conversations with their children.
And we're back, man. I'll let my brother jump right into his thoughts, and then I'll come back to follow up.
So another story, teachers going outside of their guidelines of what their job title is. Same old, same old. I know that she has issues. She needs help. To the kids, you don't even know if was it against their will, was they willingly going with it. Some of them probably liked it. It's weird. Like it's weird. It's very immature. You could clearly see that she got issues. I probably don't know her issues, but it's just the same old, man. And parents need to step in and really start to pay attention on what their kids doing. And the bosses that at that school who's over her, they need to be paying attention to their teachers too. Just how I feel, you could tell her posting on her social. So if that was social media, but if it's not, she's posting in her, bathing suit or sexual conduct type of outfit. So, you know, it's a lot of signs on her part. So I just feel like it's very trifling. Could be the word I use. Yeah, trifling.
Yeah, man. Tons of questions come to mind. First and foremost, I wonder because it said that she forced them, that she was sharing pictures and stuff on Snapchat, explicit pictures. But I wonder where the kids' parents are. I know it said some as young as 13, so that means it was more than one. Who was 13, and then the ages probably go up since that was the youngest. But when you 13, that's probably like end of sixth grade and seventh grade. Uh, I remember, being in that grade and being that age, and your parents would do a clean sweep of your room and stuff like that when you weren't there. You know what I mean? Go through your dirty clothes, come through, just going through stuff. You know what I mean? Seeing what you into, might lift the bed up just to make sure you're not into nothing crazy. At that time, it wasn't the social media era or it wasn't the cell phone era for us. But I would encourage parents, again, the same aspect, to go through as long as you're under my roof because, and then I would wonder, where's dad at in a lot of these instances? Because I know in our community, the young man, once he hits that teenage stage, he kind of becomes the man of the house when the initial man is not there, and he gets tons of responsibilities. Mom's working, moms are young. You know what I mean? Moms are still wrapped up in social media. Again, if you look at these ladies' ages, both of them are in their early 30s. You know what I'm saying? And with that being the case, what I'm starting to see, just in society, just my opinion, but from what I encounter, a lot of people in their early 30s, 40s, 50s, it doesn't matter the age. I was just telling someone this. It's just a matter of when you've taken accountability for what you've been through and you want to fix it. Some people have been through things more drastic than others. So again, I wonder if she's been raped, molested. I wonder if she's on some type of drugs. Her pictures scream some type of drug to me. That's bigger than just the normal recreational drug, bigger than the alcohol. But it just seems like that when the other picture, not the baby, not the bathing suit picture, but the bathing suit picture, you already know how I feel about that type of stuff. When you on the internet like that, you're not selling bathing suits. You're not a model. You can see she's tucked all her stomach in the bottom of the bathing suit. You looking for attention. You know what I mean? Which is why you're willing to take it from whomever because the men wasn't moving fast enough. You know what I mean? Men probably weren't as gullible for it or just wasn't quick enough. You know what I mean? These kids are accessible. They're at the school. You know what I mean? She can get to them. And then all it takes is, like I try to tell people all the time, all it takes is an inch. You know what I mean? You start off with the bathing suit. You know what I mean? You're getting attention. You know what I mean? Then it's attention that you don't normally get. A lot of people never been popular. You know what I mean? A lot of people, this stuff stems because we live in that day and age now where if you don't get the likes, if you don't get the, you're not cool. You know, you don't feel a part of it. You don't feel like you matter. You know, and then in reality, if it's not happening in the real world, you taking it from social media and then that becomes your world. So I just wonder, you know, why or how these kids were getting alone in groups, in her home or wherever they were doing it outside of school. With this story in the last, it poses the question to me: should there be cameras in the classrooms, mandatory? You know what I mean? Because there needs to be some type of monitoring in the way that we are in surveillance in society nowadays. I mean, it's possible that it should be because um you have these shootings in the school, you have these fights. The story coming up in a few, you know what I mean, we're going to be talking about another school incident, and you just wonder, should there be more cameras, should there be more audio that can pick up, because this hearsay stuff, it gets tough, you know what I mean? But above all, the sentencing, the charges, pour them on, you know what I mean? And then at the same time, as you chastise somebody, get them some help. So if whether it be inside, the penitentiary she goes to, get her some help. You know what I mean? That type of person needs help. No matter how big their sin was, matter how nasty, no matter trifling, disgusting, still need help. You know what I mean? It's not my job or your job to help her. It's our job to give our opinion on the story, and then talk to again. Now, here's another teachable moment because now it goes to a younger age. You probably wasn't talking to your child about sex, about older people, approaching them for sex, about older people sending inappropriate pictures. But now you have to bring it up. You either bring it up or you let this teacher or somebody in her place teach and manipulate your child to think that this is okay. So it's best to say, hey, it did happen, and I'm sorry that it happened to the young men that it happened to. But like you said, some of them people probably were 17. You know what I mean? He might have been 16. You know what I'm saying? They probably was with it because we live in an over sexualized society as well. And
Right.
then when you think about the screen mask and stuff like that, kind of make you think about fetishes. Does she watch a lot of porn? Again,
Right.
her being lonely, what I mean, being by herself, in a marriage, you know what I'm saying? Is it that he's not doing nothing? Are they not having sex? What is it? Do you feel like you weren't getting the power in your relationship, so you didn't have power? So these powerless kids make you feel like you have power. Those are just the things that just come to mind. I'm pretty sure that there's tons of things that we can just pick on, and tons of intricacies that you can just nab on as more details come out. But it's simple and plain. Um, when you have somebody of that age taking the position to be a representative, a leader in the community, they have to uphold that, because they make it harder for other people who choose leadership in the community. You break that trust, you make it harder for other children in the classroom to operate. But parents got to step up and be parents as well. So kudos to the last mother, that we had spoke on, that went through the child's phone. And all the parents, man, just overparent. You got to do whatever you can to protect these babies in these days. So that's all I have for that story.
Yes, sir. So man, so we always want to continue to encourage y'all to do the best you can and try to uphold your physical, mental, and emotional, man. The weather's changing. It's getting cold. You never know how this weather is going to play out, man. So try to do
Mhm.
something to keep your respiratory system up. Try to challenge your body, man. Try to take your minerals. Get you some sea moss and get you some herbs, man, and things of that nature to keep your health up, man, your immune system strong, and things of that nature, man. But also, man, try to find you some things to do that keep you positive and productive throughout the day, that'll help you heal, that'll help you strengthen your mind, as far as reading, meditating, sleeping right, eating right, working out, going for a walk, calling somebody to enlighten them with some words of encouragement, or just calling for advice to somebody that you can comprehend with, that you are gelling with, somebody that listen to you, that don't always have an opinion or judgmental type of opinion towards you. It's always good to talk and let it out, man, besides holding it in and keeping quiet. But if you can't, um, go talk to somebody or get to somebody, or somebody get to you. It's an emergency hotline, our own emergency hotline. It's 988. Don't hesitate. If you're struggling, man, use it. You don't have to use your name. You could be anonymous. It don't have to be your problem. It could be somebody else's that you know. Speak on it. See something. Say something.
Yes, and always continue to pay attention to what's going on in the world. So protect your finances as well. Save, invest, be frugal. You know what I mean? This is not the time to be splurging. Be mindful of what's going on all around you. And with that being said, man, we do know that we are celebrating 20 years of the All White. So let's play this commercial, and we'll be right back to you after these quick messages. Stay locked in. Hey man, what's up? Top of the afternoon to all my So Focused family, friends, and all of my Spartan alumni, new and old. It's been a minute, man, but we're back and we've got a whole lot to celebrate. The All White is making its grand return for its 20-year anniversary, and trust us, we got a venue that's pretty much bigger than ever. We're not just bringing the tradition back and restoring the legacy, we're elevating it. This year, it's more about the party, the legacy, giving back, and celebrating greatness. We're honoring you and our brothers, Kevin Talley and Terrell Whitehead, for their induction into the Spartan Football Hall of Fame, launching scholarships for future Spartans, and we'll be supporting the Green Run High School football team. Oh, and did we mention, I'm in full character because we've got a dope comic book series tied into this event. The storytelling, the energy, the memories, the impact, it's all coming together. We're bringing it back home to Norfolk, where it all started. It's going down Labor Day weekend, so that's your answer. Sunday, August 31st, 2025. Mark your calendars. Go ahead and get the shopping. Go ahead and spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend, because this is an invite-only event. So be on the lookout for that exclusive link to get yours. Stay locked in.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Can't wait.
indeed, man. So August 31st, man. So open invitation. Be on the lookout for the website, which will be dropping very soon. TheAllWhite.com. All the information will be brought to you very soon. With that being said, we're gonna get to our final story. No, next to our final story, we're gonna get to our third story of the day about the Texas high schooler fatally stabbed at the track meet. You want to jump into that one? You want me to carry it
Hey,
off?
witness, I got you. A witness told police the altercation started when Austin Metcalf told Carmelo Anthony to move out from under the Memorial High School team's tent. It was raining during the track meet and the athletes were taking shelter. A back and forth argument between the two teams then escalated. Austin Metcalf touched Anthony, who had just told him, "Touch me and see what happens," while reaching inside his back. After Metcalf later grabbed Anthony to tell him to move again, Anthony pulled out what was what a witness recalled as a black knife, stabbed Metcalf once in the chest, and ran off. The knife was later found in the bleachers. Carmelo Anthony has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. His bond was set at $1 million. Court records show Anthony was being held at the Collin County Jail. A Give Singo support fund for Anthony has been raised more than $275,000. Let's watch this video and then we'll come back with our thoughts, y'all.
I wish I had all the answers. The answer is my son is gone and he'll never come home again. I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice and it affected both his family and my family forever. It's a very unfortunate thing, but I know exactly what was happening. His brother was there who tried to save him and he died in his arms. So if you weren't there, please don't spread rumors. Well, the track meet was being delayed. Each individual high schools had like their own little tents to go sit under, and they were sitting under the Memorial High School tent. The individual was saying some words, and they turned to him and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." And he said, and he had a Centennial track sweat on. He said, "Hey man, you're in the wrong spot. You need to go sit with your team." Words were then exchanged. I'm not going to get into the exact details. I know what my son told me, but they asked him to move. And when Austin grabbed his backpack to take it, he stabbed him in the chest and killed him.
I'll give you my thoughts on this first. First and foremost, I send my condolences out to his family, to both families, because both of them gonna be drastically, really, it's gonna affect them hard, man. It's sad, but it happens. You know, it's been happening since we've been in school, man. The little nitpicking, the little beefing between the schools and the teams, you know, the rivals and things of that nature. I don't consider it good sportsmanship. So I really not a fan of that. I'm really a fan of, you know, getting it on the field or getting on the court or on the track, you know, like that. Handling it the right way. But you see this all the time, and then once it's too late, once it happens, the consequence, then it becomes, you know, where we at now. It's sad, man. Both of those kids, you know, both of them lost their life. One lost a brother, um, and witnessed that. So you know he gonna need the help that he gonna need because his brother died in his arms. So it's tough, man. Tough situation, man. Like I said, it goes to show, like we've been saying forever. Every time we bring up a topic, the evaluations matter. And paying attention to your students. Like, where's the supervision at? Where's the security at? Where's
Right.
you know, where's the coach at? Where's all these people at? How did he even get there with a knife? You know, where's this? So it's a lot of questions, but that's why I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah, first and foremost, like you said, man, I send condolences out to again both families, both sides. But one, um, just first looking at that video of the dad, I get that the father lost his son in the physical, but just to me, it kind of seemed like he's speaking like he was there too.
Right.
And then that just because his son was there, that nobody else was there. You know what I'm saying? So just because your son, told you something and you reported it to us and we can't give our opinion, we've all been 16, 17. We've all haven't been athletes, but some of us have. Some of us been on track teams. I've been on a track team. I've been to different track meets. I've been to the States. You do have friends that are on other teams, but like you said, the supervision, there's normally multiple coaches. There's also officials, elected officials that are a part of whatever meets or what have you. First thing I thought were, do they compete or why are they there? Because they're showing football pictures, but no track pictures. So, I don't want to be ignorant to it, but they may be shot put or something like that, but I would want to know if they were first on there. Second, here's where I go with self-control, emotional intelligence, where being right, does being right overpower uh, your freedom? You know what I mean? Does being right overpower your future? Because yeah, you could have been right, but something in your mind told you to take that knife there. Something in the way that you either carry yourself or something around you, the neighborhood, something has you carrying this knife to protect yourself in a high school. You know what I mean? I don't know what type of high school it is or what type of neighborhood it is or what you into outside of school, but you feel like you have to protect yourself. So with that being said, parents should know this. Like, yo, you carrying a gun, you carrying a knife, you know, what's going on? You know what I mean? Who you got beef with? You know, what is this really about? Again, we know that that's a perfect world. So I don't like to speak from the aspect of me not playing sports and stuff. You gotta be realistic. And trash talking happens. That's cool. That's normal. But like you said, Kendall, like you should be able to um chip chip chirp chirp chirp. Somebody should be able to come in like, yo, go to your tent. You know what I mean? Y'all chill out. We'll get them. You know what I mean? You gotta go in your respective you got to go in your respective competition in your heat, you know, so either win your competition or whether it be basketball, football. I'm just at this age now, even then, like I have it tatted on my arm like silent assassin because I like being overlooked. I like people, even to this day, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to creating stuff, being a trailblazer, but not getting the credit for it. So I'm used to that. But with that, you know what I'm saying? You get your confidence. You know, man, you ain't talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm over here. Now you know what? Let me get from over here. But I'm a dog. You like it's both sides. So I see wrong in both. I don't want people to just raise this money and get this young man out of prison without him knowing, like, bro, you need help. You know what I'm saying? You went literally and got a knife and stabbed somebody where your brother was, to my knowledge, his brother was trying to stop him too. Your brother try to stop you, that means you could have left. That be my issue. Like, yo, you still have a whole tent. I'm just saying, why throw your whole future away because you right in the aspects of just protecting yourself. You still wrong for having a knife here. You know what I mean? There's tons of ways that they're gonna break this down against you. Like, yo, why did you have a knife at the meet? Like you said, then it makes you wonder, like, yo, a lot of times where I go or where I've been, they had metal detectors, like or the wands, you know what I mean, when you walk in. I'm trying to think, do they do that for coming off the bus? That might be the thing because you know your bus drops through the back gate. So he might know that, but we living in a day and age where, you know, you gotta prove yourself, you know what I'm saying? And jail just seems to be like a badge of honor. But on the flip side, once they in there, they hate being there. They wish they never did it. And that'd be my thing. Like if your brother can't calm you down, um, like you said, nobody seen this. Nobody seen the back and forth. Nobody seen like, yo, chill. Like your teammates even gotta step in. Like, you know what I mean? This is where camaraderie comes in. This is where maturity. That's why we're mental health coaches. We would see stuff like that. We got extra coaches, three of us. You got your regular coaching staff, but we, you know what I mean? We out here extra eyes and ears. And the reason why we
Captains,
jumped in,
yeah, and
huh?
the captains used to step in and stuff like that. You know, that's the whole reason of having a captain on the football team, basketball team, track team. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? They supposed to recognize that type of stuff too. You
yeah.
know, who's to say they wasn't the captain though? You know, so it's
Yeah, I will
yeah,
also wonder. I will also wonder: is there any video footage? Since we are living in that day and age, and
right.
since nobody stepped in, I wondered who had their phone out, and who recorded it. And then that way we can actually get we can get real footage and really how it went down. Because right now, you know that younger brother's going to try to protect his brother's name and his image and his likeness, and the father's going to go and do the same. But I don't hold no punches, man. I'm not biased. I just want the truth to come out. Like he said, We can go on humanity. It don't have to be racial. It don't have to be none of that. But if you bullying somebody or if you disrespecting somebody, you should watch how you talk to somebody. If you feel like they should leave, you can speak your piece, or you can literally just go get your coach. Like, bro, I'm not about to get suspended for arguing a fight and get him from over here. I'm trying to focus. Like, you can do that too. I mean, I'm not sure if they look at it as snitching or not, but bro, when I'm locked in, I'm trying to win. You know what I mean? Get away from us, bro. That's even in football. Like, you can chirp, 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 but I'm a dog you on the field or on the court or on the track, but get away from us because now you throwing me off. You throwing me out of my rhythm. So it's totally different. It's totally different ways that you can handle that. But if your future depends on it and you always thinking forward, that's one thing that I just commend myself on because I always wanted to get out. Even to this day, I'm thinking the next. What's the next 4 years? What's the next 5 years? What's the next? I can't ruin that. Let me think. Let me think. Let me go back. Let me sit down. But I'm not about to blow all the things that I worked hard for or all the things that I'm pushing towards over just being an idiot, getting caught up in the moment. And I'm sorry to say that, but I'm just tired of seeing the lack of self-control. I expect that from a kid, but that's because the kid don't get enough better examples because I mean, even the next story or all these other stories, whether it be negative on physical altercation, as far as fighting or violence, we see that even adults can't control their emotions and their actions on molesting children or having sexual intercourse. So, yeah, man.
Sir. Yes, sir, man. Totally agree, man. Totally
Yeah,
agree.
man. And as we move forward, man, we got one last story. We'll jump right into our last story with parents being charged. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, I think they messed
Yeah, I
that up.
jumped. I
Uh,
jumped. Yeah. Prayerfully,
Go
we
ahead, you
deal
can do
with
that
that.
one though.
No, it's cool. We got three dead, four in custody in heartbreaking Spotsylvania shooting. Police say a deal to buy firearms went bad in a townhouse neighborhood outside of Fredericksburg, Virginia, leaving three young men dead and three others wounded. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of four suspects in the mass shooting in the Old Greenwich Village neighborhood. The suspects are 17 years old, a 16-year-old, and an 18-year-old, whom were all charged with malicious wounding and use of a firearm in the commission of a felony unlawful assembly. The suspects are all from Spotsylvania and Caroline counties. Let's watch this video, man, and come right back.
Three people were killed, at least three others wounded, and the video from witnesses just downright terrifying. Fredericksburg City Schools on a 2-hour delay today as the community deals with the aftershock.
Neighborhood. This is where a red Mercedes was parked. Bullet holes riddled throughout that Mercedes. We believe some of the victims were in that vehicle. You can see here where some of the bullets went through. In this GMC, look, bullet holes and bullet markings all throughout just the side of this vehicle, peppered. And then you want to come down this way. As I mentioned, there were several different locations throughout this neighborhood on Old Greenwich Circle. You can see here there's also another neighborhood back through the woods there. Two of the victims actually in a different neighborhood. Four of them found here. And I want to show you this one other thing. Super scary, right? Take a look at the window here where that glass is missing, and then around to the back of this vehicle. This Honda Accord completely shot out. It gives you a sense of just how violent the scene was.
Good God.
Yeah, man, and as you can see, man, just those ages, that's the first thing that just comes to mind. It's just like, man, these ages like 17, 16, 18, 20, even somebody who has something to do with it was in their 20s. Um, Again, man, you want to figure out why. You know what I mean? You want to figure out why do you need these guns? What is going on? What's going on in our community? We need fathers. We need better parenting. We need better outlets. We need a village. You know what I mean? This is broad daylight, middle of the early evening. Um, and kids, these kids should be chasing their dreams. You know what I mean? These kids should be either in high school, graduated high school, on somebody's college campus, in somebody's trade school, on somebody's farm, working with their family business. But again, we need better examples. You got to talk to them about that. You got to show them if they don't have options, and they hear it in the rap song, or they're influenced by the community that they're in is going to become their parent if you ain't doing the parenting. I don't know where else to put this, you know what I mean? Because they're underage, and even the ones that are 18, 20, they're not fully developed. They're not taking care of themselves. Like I just said, people in their 30s, act this way, react this way, not thinking. 40s, 50s, it's not an age thing. It's just a whether are you going to do right or wrong thing. Do you value your life thing? Do you love yourself? Do you love others? What are you doing? That's literally what comes to my mind. It's just like, man, when I was 16, the thing I was figuring out was, man, I'm gonna be 18. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna get a job? Am I gonna go to college? Let me get on the ball. I gotta get a scholarship. I can't be in my mom crib, or I can't just be nothing. You know, it's just sad, you know what I mean? Then the people around, can you imagine, it's 5:30, some people just getting off work, you driving in, and you just pull in, and it's like, wow, like this is like a episode, or this is like a scene from GTA, the video game. Like, this really happening? Um, then you got to worry about your children. I know back then, these type of communities, they look similar to the type of communities that we grew up in, and they like, what used to be, the middle class, upper lower class. Then you got the lower class. This is, single mamas, single parents, single, staying with auntie, might be staying with grandma over your auntie cousin house, because you got to get off the bus and you don't have nobody to watch you. Um, you just think about that type of stuff because it's that time. Like, and then as she said, it's just straight bullets flying. Bullets don't have no name, so it's just like, wow, your heart goes out to the three that it hit, and then you also just thankful that it didn't hit a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, another, future 10-year-old, somebody who taking care of their family, 30 years, just somebody that's just innocent that don't have nothing to do with it. Um, I constantly, pray, and I will constantly adjust my life and dedicate my life to working on helping, and where I know I can be of assistance with this mental health thing. I'm starting off with the athletes because I just feel like they have a pulse on the community and they have more influence with other kids. And I'm just working on what I can, but with me doing my job, parents need to do theirs. And I just encourage all other, adults, once they heal themselves, once they feel like they can contribute to, helping other young men and young women, talk about their problems, figure it out, try to find conflict resolutions, try to see other solutions to life, find some value in life. Because when you're doing stuff like this, it shows that you don't really have a serious value of life, because you're dealing with firearms, you're dealing with illegal transactions, and meetups. So, they can go left at any given time. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way you value your life that way. So you need somebody in front of you teaching you the value of life, and then you need people around you, just cheering you on. You need friends that's gonna be like, man, don't do that, man. If you do that, you're gonna throw away your whoop whoop whoop. And it, like I said, it don't necessarily have to be sports. It just has to be you realizing that you were born for a purpose, and that you have gifts, and that you have tons of skills, and you'll be throwing them away. And you can't see down in the future, but you will regret it at some point. So, prayers go out to Spotsylvania County. Prayers go out to Fredericksburg. Prayers just go out to this thing that we call a nation, because this is just a mere reflection of a lot of cities. It's just, this ain't even an inner city, you know what I'm saying? This is more suburbia, but it's just affecting our youth. The internet is making the world smaller, um, and a lot of people are just infatuated with the street life, but they're not aware of the consequences. And jail is just a mere consequence. As we can see, we got the ultimate, and the Most High don't make no mistakes. So I would just, like I always say anyway, I watch a lot of this stuff because that's the ages that I'm dealing with: 15, 16, 17, 18, 13. I get to use this stuff as a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? I get to, let it be known that, yo, in the press of a button, you pulling that trigger, you getting that gun. That's another thing. Those type of guns, where in the world did they get them from?
Yeah,
Uh,
bro, crazy.
yeah,
The
and
young
if
damn
yeah,
kids, you
exactly. So a lot of mental illness all around, man. It's sickness. For adults to be giving guns and letting, you know what I mean, or it just make you think so much on just why, like what really be going through people's mind through the day, and then it make you think to yourself like, this is why I stay isolated. This is why I don't want no dealings with a lot of people, because um, their mind is on things that, you look like you in a fantasy world when you talk to them. Hey man, I'm trying to get my garden going. Hey man, I'm trying to give back. Yo, I drive down once a week, for nothing. I gotta get a rental car, I gotta do this, get back. Got back last night, went to bed after midnight, up today 5 a.m, so we can work out, do this, do that. Are you gonna do that every day? So it's like, you don't have time for this. You don't have time for great ideas. You don't have time to build. You don't have time to read. You don't have time to pray. You don't have time, but you got time to go
know,
try to make
divorce.
quick money. Yeah, you go time, you know what I mean? Things that's gonna hinder your growth, you don't have time for. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that you
too.
do have time for. Yeah, so that's another big reason. No matter the age, you know what I'm saying? I have to take control over just how I interact with people, how long I'm gonna be there, if I'm gonna be there, how I'm gonna be there. We just living in that day and age, man, where you can tell that that low vibration is winning right now. Although that we do have a lot of great things going on in society. Um, our society doesn't reflect that, though. It's not the consensus. It's not the majority. So we gotta do better just as adults, when raising these babies. I always say it. Better examples, not better advice. Better advice is not gonna get it done.
Yeah.
You muted.
Um,
Check. Okay.
what up? Can you hear me? We're gonna stay
Yeah, I
right
can
here
hear
in
you.
Spotsylvania, man, with our last story. Parents charged after a student brings gun to Spotsylvania Elementary School. Accidentally fires it. 36-year-old Sierra Armstead and 34-year-old Terrence Carroll Jr., the parents of a third grader who brought a gun to a Spotsylvania County elementary school and accidentally fired it in a classroom, have been charged with child endangerment and firearm violations. No one was injured when the gun which was in the student's backpack discharged Monday at Lee Hill Elementary in Spotsylvania County. The sheriff's office said the boy found the unsecured gun in his home and put it in his backpack. The couple was cooperative with the investigation. Both were released on $5,000 unsecured bond with an arraignment date of April 11th. You check out this. You see the pictures. We're gonna go ahead and give us our thoughts. Same thing as we always been saying. Every time we have an episode, we have something in these lines of parents. Children having children, adults child mind state, still having children. They're not paying attention. If you're gonna have a firearm in your house, at least put it where your child won't find it. Um, it's a lot of immaturity, a lot of irresponsibility in this situation. I don't see how a third grader can get all the way to the school with a gun, but I also can see by the irresponsibility of people getting hot, being high in the house, going to sleep while your child's still up. Um, all sorts of things you could have been under it, all type of stuff. But you can look in the picture and tell that they're not sober. So it's just evident. I can see it. It looks that way to me. I'm just going off my perspective. But tighten up, man. We need to be paying attention to our babies. Y'all need to be paying attention and taking your time, man. And really, really, if you're gonna have a child, you can't take it back. So you need to better it up and start to take care of it
Mhm.
and start to take care of yourself. If you don't know how to do it, get help to do it. Like, period.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is simple. We because it could have been worse, so we're just thankful that it wasn't. Like you said, uh, this is just immaturity. This is just uh, just carelessness. You know what I'm saying? It's easy when a kid can think, toy gun. They don't know. They just thinking it's a toy. You know what I'm saying? Throw it in the book bag. But this is again, no matter the age, it don't matter if they're in the third grade. As long as they're your child, as long as you know what I mean. You want to know what's going on with your child. So when something like this happens, or something even worse, or smaller or bigger, even when things are good happening, there's things that be happening good to children in school. They get awards and stuff, and they won't even tell their parents. You know what I'm saying? They come to the ceremony or nothing. So it's on both sides. You just need to be abreast, stay in tune with your child's life, have those conversations like one of the videos reconfirmed for us, as we said, you should be having those tough conversations with your child. So this is another now, as early as third grade, somebody might bring a gun to school, so you need to keep your children abreast on what to do in these situations, how to prepare for these situations. If your friend was to do this, yo, you got to say something. Third grade, listen, I don't care about none of that. Y'all too young to be losing your life. The $5,000 bond unsecured, when the arraignment was actually today, we'll be able to get some information and follow up with that on the next episode that we come back to. We should be able to know how that went, as far as what the charges and stuff will be, and if they'll proceed with it. Outside of that, I hate to see a family broken up because of a mistake. Yeah, I don't want the most severe penalty, but you got to have a teachable moment, because it could have been worse. And then that gun went off, bullet hit another, and then boom. Lock boxes. Make sure that these guns are registered, and you just follow proper protocol. And like you said, this was actually a situation where both of the parents are in the house, so we get a win there. You know what I mean? We have two parents. You have to work together. You know what I'm saying? You have to make it fun. Book bag check, sneaker check, check, da 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 da, lunchbox, check everything. You know what I mean? And just make it fun, so you don't feel like you're being invasive over time. Same thing. Laptop check, cell phone check. If you need mommy, if you need daddy, what's the number? Blah 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 blah. Make a song. You know what I'm saying? But uh just be a better parent. You know what I'm
Be
saying? Be a
creative.
better parent. And nobody gets it right the first time. That's why you got to continuously do it each day. Like you said, bro. You chose to have the kid. You can't press a button and it goes back in. You can't rewind the hands of time. So don't
And
let the
time,
child.
the time, not to cut you off, but you got to adapt with the time, but you don't have to do the BS. If you can be creative. You know that it's not old school no more. Where back in the day, we ain't had no phone. We had to share a phone. I remember the time when we had it. Remember we had that one phone between us.
Right.
So, but you got to be fun with it. Grow with the times. But man, pay attention to your kids. Like just pay attention a little bit. Like not we're not saying 24/7 that you can have your eyes on them. But when you in their presence and they're in your presence and y'all in the house and y'all not talking and all the doors closed, what's going on? Like, who house
Yeah.
is this? So like,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
like be
anywhere else that
creative.
they go, they're gonna get their privacy invaded randomly.
Yep,
The worst come to
yep,
worst, where you trying to protect them from going. They're gonna get woke up when they don't want to get woke up. They're gonna get room searches when they don't want to get them. If they go in the military, the same type of stuff happens. If
yep,
you play sports, or you go to college, it's the same thing. People have to teach you responsibility. People have to teach you humbleness. People have to teach you how to be a part of a team, teach you how that things are bigger than you. Life doesn't revolve around you. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn these things, and it's best if you prepare them. And the younger you prepare them, like if they got to be at school at 7:30, why you letting them sleep to 6:45? Why? Why? Teach them
And
early.
then,
We up
then
at
and
5.
then rush
That's why you get
and
your
then
butt
rush
to
them.
bed
Come on, you
early
gotta
at night.
go. Gotta go.
Yeah,
Then rush.
yeah,
Come on,
no,
gotta go.
you're not doing that. But that's a habit. That's a habit that you instill early because you know that your child is going to turn into an adult someday. So why not instill it in them early and get that ugliness out of them early. Get that inquisitiveness, sneakiness out of them early. What's that, mom, dad? What's that? Yo, that's a gun, and I need to put it up. I'm tripping. Thank you for asking what that was. What the hell am I doing? Simple as that. Wife. You know what I mean? You gotta be, that's why, you gotta make sure that y'all a partnership too, and you're not just together, you know what I mean, because y'all got stuck with a kid. Yo, I'm the man, I was slipping, but you my woman. We both can't be slipping. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
when you slipping, yo, babe, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? You like, nah, you slipping. Oh, you right. We got to have each
yeah.
other's back, and that's the importance of the village. So with that being said, we can continue to go on all day with this story. I just like to continue to bring, when we bring these stories to the forefront, I just like to look at them all as teachable lessons, because if you judge too much or if you got too much of an opinion, you'll be in that circumstance, you know what I'm saying? Then what would you do? You know what I'm saying? So you can't overly, talk about it and say, oh, this is this, or why would it be like that, when, man, how many times you done looked or you done went in somebody's home prior and there was a gun? Baby might have been in another room, but it's still out, like, you know what I mean? So we know how things go. We ain't got the biggest homes. We ain't, as far as in our community, we ain't just wealthy. We ain't on acres and acres of land. We should be. You know what I mean? We
Right.
should be working together. We should have that, because we should be able to take our young men and our young women in the woods and hunt, to where you ain't gotta be out here slipping up with the gun and all that. No, don't you ever take. And then homeschooling. I'm gonna continue to advocate for that, because although this stuff is happening in school and stuff, my number one thing is we should be a village, and we should be crew tight enough as family to where those who need to go to work go to work. After a certain generation go down, man, that money done brought in. We got enough businesses, we got enough land, we work in our land, we got our own homeschooling situation. We can teach these kids how to fish, hunt, we can teach them how to farm, garden, everything, but we can be self-sufficient. I'm more on that. I'm gonna continue to push that. So I don't ever want to feel like I'm less empathetic to the situation, but I'm never gonna give in just to the system as supposed to be doing everything for us anyway. So I'm not just looking for leniency on the cases. I'm not just looking for blaming it on race. I'm looking for us to step up and being proactive. So a lot of our children don't even have to be in these situations, because a lot of times you see us just growing up so fast because we don't have nobody to put us in our place, or we get too much responsibility too early. You're getting it too early. You do need to stay in a child's place more. So like you said, we are moving in a new time, but I feel like there should be just the right amount of balance, especially if you were born in the 80s. I always say you're super blessed if you were born in the 80s, because you have all that knowledge and all that history that the people before you gave, but you knew what life was like before social media, before the cell phone, before all this stuff. And now you're young enough to learn it and know what's going on. So you're supposed to stay upbeat and stay in tune with what your child doing and observe. Don't jump in it and be the one, all you look like the kid. No, step back, observe, know how to operate it. But then that's when you bring that balance to that old school, because they need that old school. And that's what's going to give them the edge over their peers. You know what I mean? They're going to have that wisdom. Like, yeah, we could just do this, but bro, my grandfather, my uncle, my mama, my daddy, too many people done told me I ain't doing that right there. I know where the limit is. We can do a little bit, but I ain't going across that limit.
Fact. That's a fact. Now that's right. You hit that one on the
Yes,
head,
indeed.
man. Man, we can go on for days for this, man. But this is your Leaders Only show, digital show and podcast, live streaming every Sunday at 2 o'clock on YouTube, our YouTube
Yes, indeed.
channel. We appreciate you joining us for our season 5, episode 25. I hope all y'all enjoy the content, man. Catching up on the shows, staying caught up on the shows, man. Anything that we missing, if you got any thoughts, content, titles, storylines, anything you want us to get in tune with, man. It's easy to find us, easy to reach us. All our contacts, all our information is at the bottom of the ticker. It's always throughout the show. We are brought
Yes,
to you by What a Change Mentoring Inc. and Tone Drone TV. I'm your host, Kendall.
and I'm Samaj.
And man, if you ain't did it yet, we ask that you share, like, subscribe, click that bell. Email us at leadersonly22@gmail.com with your thoughts. With anything that's bothering you. If you got anything that you want to get at us with, man, get at us. You got anything, bro?
Man, just whatever you need, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Norfolk State, shout out to Not Your Typical Homecoming, shout out to Jay King for the jacket. As well as, like you said, man, we got that Labor Day weekend coming, the all white coming. If you need anything in the holistic health side, as well as, you know, El Capitan gear, anything, you know, mentalhealthchef.com, right? Like my bro said.
Cleaning,
And go ahead.
hauling, moving, whatever you need done, man. We got it all on all aspects,
Yes,
man. And we
indeed. So
can't
just
get,
follow us.
yes, sir.
Follow us, reach out. And I was gonna say, pretty soon we're gonna have a special episode. We'll probably start getting into that next week. We're gonna have a special broadcast coming soon. Mental health and high school sports. We're really
Yes,
serious, man. Advocates for this. We knee deep in this high school mental health side with the athletes, and just with the youth. Period. The only thing you can do is be an eye, a ear, and an extra source for them, and a lot of them will reach out for the help if you give them a proper angle to get to you without judgment.
yes, sir, man. Appreciate you, bro. We can't wait to get that. We looking forward to that, man. With all, man, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Peace and blessings as always. And we'll see you next week.
Yes, indeed. Bring the confetti.
Yeah.